well then, way to start the Belgium race, yeah, wet. Very, very looking to be wet starts to qualifying in NRC Division 2 round 14 for Belgium today. As it seems to be intermediate weather at the moment, which is actually going to cost the drivers quite a lot if it is a dry race. This is due to the fact of the cars will now be looking if they want to have a dry or a wet setup onto the cars. As if it's going to be a dry race, they'd want to put a dry setup on. This means through the final sector they are going to be a lot more slippy, and there's going to be a lot more chance for these drivers to actually spin off through the fast part of the final sector. And massively up over rouge as well, as fast car is racing for the AMS Jocelyn. Here driving out in the intermediate tire, so pretty wet at the minute already, as have been confirmed that it is going to be a wet qualifying and a dry race. These drivers will have dry setups on their car more than likely, could cost them for speed in the wet. You may see a couple of drivers trying out a modified wet dry setup, trying to see what pace they can get out of their car. But ultimately, most of these drivers will be on dry setup. We also have Pierre and Storm, who's come out from the pit, come out of the garage. Welsh, NRC ex-pilot, and Lunderland, who's also now also have Mr. Kustov, who also to start his qualifying, not his race. His first driver to start the lap will be AMS Jocelyn, unless there's an incident on track. He's invalidated his out lap already. No real surprise there for invalidating. Yeah, with Inter qualifying actually means that if it is Inters for Q2, whoever starts in the top 10 can choose whatever tyres they want to start on, and they will be fresh. As we now see a steady flow of drivers coming out the pit box. We also have AMS Rhythm, who's just come out. The Alpha Tauri of Nigel who's just come out as his pit box. And ROS Hawk in the Alfa Romeo. We also now have the Williams of Webb at EXR Lewis. We also then have a Haas. I believe that Haas is Breezy's Haas. Yes, it is. A Renault, which is King Burger, and a Red Bull, as we do see that Jocelyn has started his flying lap now. Hola, Jaffa. You should probably be trying to start a lap now, Jaffa, but if you want to sit in the pits and message in the Twitch chat, that is fine. It will be dry weather in 20 minutes actually, so it might actually be a dry Q2. As it does seem to be a good lap at the minute, as we do have yellow flags. That is for Lunderland. Oh no, it's not for Lunderland, that is going to be for Kustov. Don't know if it's a spin or not. As drivers are now starting to do their flying laps, as Jocelyn is now coming through the middle sector. Was just completed the middle sector, now into the flying final sector. Lifting off slightly as he comes through. Basically the whole of sector 3 will be flat for these drivers up until the bus stop chicane, as we see Jocelyn come through now to set the lap that everyone will have to beat. The lap time he can set is a 1:51.4, as EXR Lewis has ended up crashing at the top of Eau Rouge, it looks like there. So that is going to be his qualifying over. He'll more than likely start last place. As I don't know what actually caused that incident, but he has now ended up leaving the session as well, as X-Pilot also retires. X-Pilot has seemingly crashed in Sector 3. I'll try and get a view of his car. That'll be on the Haas of Jorkland back there, as he's crashed on the right. And I don't know if that's a crash or an actual retirement on the circuit there. But a lot of these drivers you can see are struggling to keep their cars straight. It's the Haas of not Breezy. Jorkland starts his first lap, then it'll be a McLaren, I believe that is of Kustov. Will be the next car, and he will set an actual lap. We'll see what lap time he can set as he comes across the line. Ian Storm did set a 1:54.1. Kustov has now ended up setting a... Okay, Jaffa was setting the strip, that's why I was in the chat. Kustov has set a 1:56 with AMS Rhythm setting a 55. Hawk now going with a 55 as well. Nigelator has set a 1:57 as he slows up to let Hawk pass, probably believing he's on a quick lap. Kustov's just crossing yellow flag at the top of Eau Rouge. As we do actually see Hawk spin at the top of Eau Rouge. I don't know what that was about, but there's no wing damage there for the Alfa Romeo. So we have the next set of cars coming through. That is the Red Bull there. Of Welsh Deviant set a 1:56. We then have a Racing Point, which I believe is... There we go. There's Jocelyn starting another flyer. The Renault has darted into the pits there of King Burger. It's another yellow flag at the top of Eau Rouge, but that is a car just going slowly. Ian Storm will be the next car to... the line, as I believe that Williams, oh no, that Williams was on a quick lap, sorry about that. That Williams goes 8th. That was SRN Liar Racing setting 1:56 as Aaron Storm gets all squirrely out the final corner, but still improves by 8/10. He will be annoyed with himself there, as he will want to improve that lap time. As other cars are now coming across the line, there's a yellow flag there for the Renault going deep there, I believe, as that was... Oh, as we actually see Jorkland set a 1:55.3, almost the exact same time as Ian Storm, and he has put himself up into P2 at the minute. But we know that the circuit will start to dry up later on, as it will be dry in 20 minutes. The... don't know what you would call them, but apparently it would be... the weatherman of NRC Arnson told me it would dry up. So, if it doesn't dry up, blame Arnson. It's his fault. As we do see, Nigelator has come into the pits as well. So, Arnson will actually be the next car to set a lap, as he has it validated. Congratulations, Arnson, as he will start another lap. So, my English is still shockingly bad. As Jorkland there would be the next car to start a lap, as he has actually taken out a board, as I believe he did just lose the rear end of his car, letting Hawk past. Hawk now drifts into the pit lane with some style there. Same as Hawk, as we then will have the Red Bull there, I believe, of Jaffa about to start his lap. No, that's not Jaffa. That's Welsh Deviant also coming into the pits, as drivers are now just coming into the pits. Rhythm, nope. Jocelyn sets a lap of a 1:53.57. I thought Jorkland was much faster than he was on that lap, actually. He's done a 1:55, not a 1:53. That's just me not realising times. As we will actually have the McLaren there. The McLaren? Oh, it's Lunderland. I didn't actually see Lunderland down there in the middle of the Renault, as the Renault of Cool Ice Cube actually goes P7, as Kustov seems to be the first driver to actually have a look on the softer compound tyres, as it may actually... Is it still raining? It is still raining, so I don't know why he's actually looking at the softs, as there is still some substantial spray coming off the cars. If he went out on those softs right now, he could actually spin out and crash, as Jaffa is just about to start his flying lap. We have then the Racing Point, I believe that is of Jocelyn coming into the pit lane. Nope, that is not Jocelyn, that is Rhythm. Rhythm actually improves on his time, so these drivers are doing multiple laps on these tyres, as this is his third consecutive lap on those tyres. and he's able to put in a 1:54.6. Gustav's still having a look at those soft tyres, but it's not come out of the garage yet. Next car will be the Renault there of King Burger, who has ended up spinning just before the start of his flying lap, so he will be annoyed with himself as he doesn't want to hamper Arntz here, as Arntz does come through. Where can Arntz put it? Arntz can only manage to put P5 at the minute with a 55, but he will probably be going for another flyer in a minute. As further down the grid we go, we did also have, I believe, Aaron Rico join the session. He will be starting from the back of the grid as he wasn't able to put a lap in. So we'll actually see where he ends up, as Jocelyn does also come into the pits there, as drivers will now more than likely be coming into the pits to end their laps and to hopefully start their new ones. Or not start their new... will be coming into the pits to put new tyres on and see if they want to improve, as some of these front runners won't want to. I know Aaron Rico has picked up the AlphaTauri there, but he will not be able to drive it, as Gergo there starts his flying lap now. We will also have the McLaren here of London, who's just come out of the bus stop chicane, comes across the line, can put it 13th with a 57.6. So he may be going for a second lap, as it looks like here through his ERS. As now we see the Renault there of Cool Ice Cube has finally come into the pits after validating another lap. The Red Bull of Jaffa now will be the next car, as this is one of the longest circuits on the calendar now. So these drivers will probably be coming into the pits at the end of the next lap, as Jaffa gets all squirrely at the final chicane, losing his rear end, sliding around a bit. Manages to put in a 54.0 there. With a major slam on the brakes there of locking up both his front tyres. And we also have AMS Rhythm there, who will hope that he can actually get slipstream off of the... My English is just dying today. I'm sorry about that. Christoph's still looking on those softer compound tyres, but as I was saying earlier on, recoil, whatever time he does put in, he will be removed from qualifying, as that is a bug with this F1 game. The Renault now of that King Burger, yeah, it is King Burger, who comes into the pits yet again, as he will actually need to set a lap time soon, as I believe that is also the McLaren, the Mercedes there of NRC Arntz, who also comes into the pits. So next car we're looking at will be the Ferrari of Gergo, who has invalidated. But some of these drivers now, are they actually on full dry setups? I know that some of them were saying they wanted to try full dry setups. As the first driver on their second, or the first driver of the second set to come out now is Liar Racing. The Ferrari of Gergo is actually going to start his lap now. To see where he can put it, as NRC X-Pilot, as he loses the car there, as he cannot put the power down properly, as the car just seems to be sliding all over the place. He's not able to actually fully put the power down. Car just sliding as he has to ease off the accelerator going up Eau Rouge. We're next going to have the Red Bull there of Jaffa, who does come into the pits, as he has invalidated his lap time, believing that his P4 is good enough for him at the minute, as there is a yellow flag, as Nigelator has retired through the final sector, probably going too fast there to catch the car, as yes he has. He seems to have just lost it on the outside curb, and that is a shame, as he was 15th on a lap time there, as we do also see ERN Recoil. First appearance for him in NRC Div 2 coming out of the grid now, as Welsh Deviant is starting his lap as well. But ahead of Welsh Deviant though, he's got to mind out, as there is the Alfa Romeos there of, as actually 1 second, oh that's London just getting out of the way, there is the Alfa Romeos there of ERN Storm, and I believe London, nope not London, the other McLaren of Kustov there. This is what I hate with the drivers both being the same colour. Can they just do a different shade of orange or something for the McLaren drivers? Maybe like a different shade of pink for both the racing points. You know, they're not going to be on the grid next year. But Liar Racing with the first car to start the flyer, as it has actually stopped raining now. So some of these drivers may see towards the end of their laps their tyres start to actually overheat, which could cause problems going down the line for these drivers, as overheating tyres can cause major issues for them. As we see there, Breezy has retired in the pits, hoping that his lap time is good enough. As they head up Eau Rouge. And he has managed not to invalidate going up Eau Rouge. Very well done there for him. Other cars that are out on laps now. We have Gergo, who is at the Camel Straight, about to go into the chicane up there. We have Welsh Deviant, who's apparently set a purple middle sector there, so it's very good for him. As he will... Chat's just all bugged for me now. I'm sorry if I was trying to message in the Twitch chat. Everything's just becoming bugged for me. But we do have Deviant, who will be the next car to cross the line. Where can Deviant put it, as the car ahead of him is on an outlap there of Mr. Kustov, who is just about to start his lap. Welsh Deviant puts his car up into P10, as he does have time for another 2 laps if he has put the amount of fuel in the car there for another 2 laps. But still hoping that his tyres will not overheat. His ear and Storm will start his flyer in a second. He comes across the line to start his flying lap. Next car will be a Williams. That Williams is of Lyre Racing, as Kustov has ended up crashing at the top of Eau Rouge there. Hopefully, when we go on with Storm, we will end up seeing that is the 4th driver to fall victim to this circuit. Breezy is the only driver who has not fallen victim to the circuit. He is facing the wrong way there. He seems to have just spun, not losing full control of the car, as I don't know if that would be a fact of the tyres starting to overheat around here, as tyres can heat up very, very quickly. But Lyre Racing comes across the line and cannot improve on that lap. We'll have to start another lap, as the Ferrari there of Gergo puts his car up into P3 with a 53.7. You can still see ERN Recoil and ERN Skiffy, two of ERN's drivers here, have now come across the line. Skiffy can put his car into P6, as he may not have liked King Berger there, believing he may have held him up. As there is a yellow flag in the final sectors, I believe that is the McLaren there of Lunderland, who has ended up facing the wrong way with major wing damage. That is going to be a big hamper for him, as Rico is now going to start his flying lap, or his first flying lap that he can. What colour car is that now? Oh, that's Cool Ice Cube, who is starting his lap, as Lunderland is still driving the wrong way, as Deviant has now crashed as well. So a lot of these drivers on these tyres, they seem to be burning up heavily around here. ERN Storm will be the next car to actually see where he has crashed, as Storm is pulling out of his lap, as I believe he doesn't need to. As Deviant's car is lifted off of the ground there, so it looks to be major damage for his car. Enough to cause a retirement, as Recoil has got the gearbox issue. And we then see ERN Storm coming into the pits, as he's going to be the first driver to see that checkered flag. As there, we do also see Rhythm, while pushing on his lap, has ended up spinning the car into another barrier as well. So a lot of these drivers are falling victim to just crashes consistently. This next car to cross the grid is going to be Lyre Racing. Lyre Racing keeps it very well planted, going through at that final section of the circuit where so many drivers have been caught out before. As you can see by the DNF list, we have every driver there apart from Breezy has ended up retiring through a crash, as Lyre Racing puts the car into P10, as the Ferrari there behind them was of Gergo. Gergo goes into the pits. Jocelyn, where can Jocelyn put it? Jocelyn improves by 0.2 there, but still keeps P2, as then it will be the Renault there of King Berger, who has invalidated again, so King Berger will not get a lap in round here. And then it is the Mercedes there of Arndt, as Jorkland has ended up spinning his car. It's not of Arndt, it's of Skiffy. Skiffy ends up into the pits there as well. Jorkland has ended up spinning through the final chicane. Just before the final chicane, as Hawk comes across the line, Hawk can put his car up into P7. That's a very good lap for Hawk here. But it looks to be that the top 10 is decided, unless the only driver that can actually hamper anyone is Recoil. Recoil goes and puts into P8, meaning now that Lunderland has to improve this lap time, but he has invalidated, so Lunderland will be a driver that we have lost now, as Arndt comes across the line. Arndt puts it up into P8. Jaffa and Rhythm both need to do laps here, but they don't have to push now, as they are both safe. Jaffa ends up going P3, as Rhythm also comes across the line on an invalidation, as the car gets all squirrely for... Ooh. lucky that there is no damage there, even though it is the end of qualifying. London will be the last car, as I believe he will come into the pits. I know he does finish the lap. As that is the end of qualifying, I believe, actually. So we will lose Kingberger, Lewis, X-Pilot, Lundgren, and Nigelator mandatory to the bottom 5, but I believe the other drivers won't actually be able to set lap times either through just damage to their car and the team's not being able to repair it. So that will be actually less cars into Q2. Because, yeah, only 13 drivers make it through, as we will lose Kingberger, who with no time, Lewis and X-Pilot both with no time either, but those two are through crashes. Lundgren, Nigelator, Kustov, and Welsh Deviant. Some of them were through crashes, some of them were just through not quick enough lap times. I believe we'll also lose ER and Recoil here due to the fact of him joining late. He'll be put down into the back of the grid. We'll have Cool Ice Cube, Lyre Racing, Breezy, Jorkland, Recoil, Ants, Hawk, Ski, Rhythm, Gergo, Jaffa, Yoslin, and Storm all fight out for the top 10. As I believe now it will also be dry compound tyres for Q3. As you can see now, it is dried up a lot, as they are actually on soft compound tyres, so it is going to be that they will hopefully be able to set some fast laps, as we do also see two drivers there of Jorkland and Aaron Storm put the medium or compound tyres on. So drivers now will be deciding what tyres they want to qualify on for Q2, as we do also see... Oh, hello DJ Master. Or DSJ Master. Oh, you would have got into the 142. That's unlucky from you with the... I believe you crashed, or it was an invalidation. I can't remember which one it was. But that was just unlucky there. Hopefully we can see a better performance from you in the race today. And sorry for not reading your message out as early as it was. I hadn't actually looked down to see the message. So I'm very sorry about that. Yeah, as Aaron Recoil has been ejected from the qualifying session, I believe this was for him just starting late. The game does not seem to like that. Both of the Alfa Romeos are out. You wanted to... Yep, as the Aaron Recoil does have the quali glitch. That is a very sad luck for Aaron Recoil, as he did actually put his car quite high up. I believe he will be starting P13. It's just unlucky for him there. As, yes, Jaffa DSJ, I believe, did get through, but I believe he did have terminal damage, meaning he cannot set another lap. As if drivers do pick up terminal damage, they will not be able to start another lap. It's just how the game works. Unless you have the Red Bull pit crew, who may be able to just chuck ramen noodles into your car and hope that the thing drives. But we will actually see Aaron Storm is going to be the first of the Alfa Romeos, as he does massively slurp, trying to put warmth into his medium or compound tyre. So a lot of these drivers are on the mediums, some of them are also onto the softs. So it will be a big battle, as he doesn't want to actually invalidate his lap time before he comes through. I really wish we could see how many laps they had invalidated. If he does come across the line, he'll be the first car to start a lap. As Storm made up the camera straight, I believe that was his teammate who came into the pits there. Yeah, Hawk did actually come into the pits. I don't know why Hawk came into the pits. Might have just wanted to. You can see a wide variety of people on the medium or compound tyres and the soft, as people will want to be trying the alternate strategy to each other here. And It's all in the air still, as we don't actually know what these drivers will be wanting. But David will be the first car to finish his lap as he does go purple sector 1 and 2, as we see the fuel light flashing, meaning he is very low on fuel, so he may have to set his second lap. Not his second lap, he may have to come back into the pits in low fuel mode, as that does mean he is below a lap of fuel now, as Arntzen has just started his lap as well. The Renault is also starting his lap of cool ice cube there on the medium compound tyres. David comes through the final chicane now, as he goes and sets the provisional time of a 44.3. I was about to say provisional pole time here again. I keep forgetting that it's 3 different sessions of qualifying, it's not just one, as then Jocelyn, the next guy to cross the line, who goes faster than Aaron Storm there. He puts in a 43.7 compared to Aaron Storm's 44.3. Gergo is the next, who goes even faster, but this is on the soft compound tyre, which will be faster no matter what. He goes and puts in a 42.4. Next car is Lyre Racing, goes to the 4. Very accurate there from you, Lyre, with a 44.444, as then Jaffa goes even quicker than that with a 42.9. Hawk has retired from the session. First car on the scene of that will actually be NRC Arntzen, who is out on the outside of the circuit. I believe he has just lost the car and he has crashed. So that is massive for the drivers below him, as that is basically giving a free position to anyone who can actually do a lap here. As I did also just miss Jorkland, has ended up starting his lap there. So now there are 11 positions here to fight for. There is another yellow flag. That is, I believe, Aaron Storm going slowly, as, yeah, his car has run out of fuel. Very smart of him to underfuel his car massively. It's what I usually do, but I've underfueled mine so much before where I haven't even been able to complete a hot lap. I've just run out of fuel before I can even finish it. But NRC Arntzen does come across the DRS line, opens up his DRS and sets a 44.495 on the medium compound tyres, but he did have a purple final sector, so he is very quick to the final sector. Cool Ice Cube goes slower than that with a 44.551. Skeefy is out lap. There is another yellow flag. That is just still Williams going slowly, it seems there. But the next car to cross the grid is going to be Jocelyn. Jocelyn improves by 6/10 there with a 43.0. Very good lap from him. Aaron Storm finally comes into the pits without any fuel in his car. Gergo will probably also come into the pits here, as he doesn't want to burn his soft spot. No, he carries on going, so he's going to set a second hot lap in a row. So there's another yellow flag there. That is of Jaffa, who has also run out of fuel. As you can see, a lot of these drivers underfueling their cars so much they are actually basically running out of fuel here. But Gergo, surprised to see him actually start a second lap on those tyres, as Lyre Racing also comes into the pits. Next car to finish their lap is going to be Jaffa. Jaffa comes into the pits. Breezy, oh no, it's not Breezy, it's Jorkland. Jorkland has invalidated his lap. This is the start of his actual fast lap. Behind him it will be Aaron Skeefy in the black Mercedes. It is Skeefy's second race for us this week, as he did actually win last race. I believe he can put some pressure on the Red Bull of Jaffa for the championship. But there are only a few rounds left, and he's got to hope that he can win every single race, as Jaffa is still leading the constructors here. But the next car to cross the line will be the Mercedes here of NRC Arntzen, who does actually come into the pits. Therefore, meaning Cool Ice Cube will be the next car. Cool Ice Cube, as you can hear by the engine, isn't even putting full revs down, meaning he will be coming into the pits here as well. There you go. We will then have AMS Jocelyn here, who also comes into the pits. Love you guys for coming to the pits. Next car will be Gergo, who is staying out to complete his flying lap, so we'll see where he can end up putting the car. So he comes down the pit straight. He improves by 4/10. That's massive for him in the Scuderia Ferrari. That was about to say Scuderia AlphaTauri. Bearing in mind, one's black and white and one's red. Amazing. They did also miss their AMS Rhythm starting his flying lap, as there are only... Oh no, there's more than 2 cars out on track. I just didn't see Jordan there. And I didn't see Skeefy as well. But Jorkland will be the next car to cross the line. So we'll see where he can make, or where he can actually put the car. He has put the car into P4. Very good lap from him with a 44.1. So we do now have Skeefy. Skeefy comes across the line with a 43.2. There are only 4 drivers, or actually I will put this on to their best lap time. So 4 drivers have actually chucked the soft compound tyres on. I'm just leaving this on board. Next car's going to start, which is going to go while I talk here. But yeah, 4 drivers have put the softs on. The others are wanting to go for the medium or compound strategy. So I don't know what they are going to try here. As with the mediums, they can, I don't know the strategy here. The game's going to have to tell me the strategy, or someone in chat, as I don't actually know the strategy around Belgium. Probably should, but I just haven't figured it out yet. But yeah, soft compound tyres aren't looking favourable at the minute, as I know drivers will probably be chucking these soft tyres on now to try and improve their time. Let's go. I'm going to need to wet myself up again. Gergo does come into the pits. Not Jocelyn. Rhythm is going to be the next car to cross the line. That's not Rhythm, that's the Ferrari pit box. Rhythm there goes P4 on the soft compound tyres with a 43.1. Next car to cross the line is so far back. It is Jorkland, who is not on a flyer, and then Skeefy behind him, who is also not on a flyer. So a lot of these drivers now will be going into the pits, putting a new set of tyres on to see, maybe do they want to go with soft compound tyres to get themselves secured in the top 10, or do they want to put the mediums on again and risk it that other drivers aren't going to be able to improve on their time? As, yeah, drivers are now... The only driver who's on his outlap who will actually be starting is Aaron Storm, who's gone out on the soft compound tyres, hoping that he can make this through. As he will then be surrendering the chance of going on the mediums. If he does improve with these soft compound tyres, this is his fastest lap so far is on the mediums. We have DCRL Jaffa there, who is on the mediums second fastest of everyone, but fastest of the medium runners there. With Gergo in front of him on the soft compound tyres, but those are 3-lap old softs. Set that lap time on. As we sit on board with Aaron Storm, driving through the scenic Belgian mountains of the track of Spa. A very lovely track with multiple corner names I'm not going to try and pronounce because I can't, and the fact that the corner names are also weird, and I'm probably going to get used to, probably going to get... English just isn't my strong suit today. You guys can take the piss at me if you want to, but English is just appalling today for me. As Jaffa says, his personal best on the mediums is a 42.5, so he can actually improve. He says he can find 4/10 in that lap time as Gergo has also put the medium and compound tyres on. So we will see, as it is very now sunny through the final sector, as Storm is going to be the first driver, or the only driver out on track at the minute until just now when Breezy has come out of the pit, and same as Liar Racing. Storm will be trying to hope he's fast enough to actually get some slipstream off of them as they got Eau Rouge down the Camel Straight. He's seemingly too far back to even think about that right now, as I don't think slipstream's going to work that much, as Gergo has come out of the pits behind him, and same as Cool Ice Cube. They come up Eau Rouge. Is it up Eau Rouge or is it up Radigon? Does anyone actually know which corner's which? Probably guessing no one does actually know, as Storm may, or will probably be yelling at the 2 cars ahead of him when he catches them up to get out of the way, as he won't want the dirty air off there, ruining his lap. Driving through, he comes down through the tricky right-hander. With that right-hander, you have to brake before the corner, not on the corner. It is just a weird corner because it's a downhill left, as Storm loses the car and spins. Luckily, he does not hit the wall there, but that has ruined his soft, or that has baked his soft tyres, so we'll be hoping that he can get back and start another lap quickly. If he wants to keep on these soft compound tyres, he needs to hope that he doesn't hit another curb and spin like he did before, as his teammate of Hawk hasn't even set a lap yet. And Breezy hasn't set a lap either, as there is the Haas there. Not the Haas. That's Yosseli's good. I'm sorry about the yawning. I truly am. But as these drivers are now all starting their laps, as we can see that Breezy has just started his lap, so Breezy will be the next car to actually put a competitive lap time in, as Ian Storm did actually spin on his lap coming down the hill. Breezy comes up through Radion, hoping not to invalidate it. It was a bit squirrely there as he went left, then right as he came up Radion and Eau Rouge. Coming down the Camel Straight now. Hard braking into a right turn as he does set a purple sector 1. I don't know if that is an actual purple sector 1 or that is just the game giving out purple sectors willy-nilly again. As he breaks in for the right-hander, this long right-hander. He can catch so many drivers out of running wide. Now comes down the hill with feathering on the throttle there as he doesn't want to put too much power down and spin the car. Round wet here and Storm spun it, manages to keep, as he does invalidate it, so that is Breezy giving up his chance of even improving a lap, as Aaron Storm did also come into the pits there, which I did not see. And Storm says he got a proper quali block there, which may overturn something that he believes that may have ruined his lap in the end, as he will probably, as he has actually come into the pits, as Breezy gets all squirrely there as well. So all drivers now out on circuit. Storm is hoping that Liar Racing answered Cool Ice Cube. Actually Storm doesn't have to worry, he is actually inside the top 10 on the medium or compound tyres, as Hawk has retired and Breezy has invalidated his lap time. So he is actually in an advantageous position, as there is yellow flags around the group that ERN answers in, as I believe there was a car that has spun. No, a car's just got out of the way. I believe a lot of these drivers are actually now believing that they don't have to improve on their lap times, as these medium or compound tyres have been given a lap time? Yes, a lifeline by Breezy, invalidating his lap time and Hawk retiring. So every single driver here into the top 10 doesn't actually have to push, even though a lot of them are not realising that they don't have to, as Cool Ice Cube now goes into P6. Ferrari then of Gerger will be next across the line on the medium compound tyres, cannot improve his lap time. There, the Mercedes of Arnson pits, probably realising he doesn't actually have to push here, as these drivers are now starting to figure out that they are in a safe position. Skeefy now coming through the soft compound tyres. I believe his best is on, his best is on, yeah, he's on the mediums, so he doesn't have to push here, as he does come into the pits, as well as Rhythm there goes into P2 with a 42.2, as that is everyone apart from Jocelyn. Jocelyn has invalidated. So the top 10 has been figured out now, so Gergo will be starting on softs, same as Rhythm. Then it will be Jaffa, Jocelyn, Skeefy starting on mediums. Cool Ice Cube would also be starting on softs there. Jorkland Storm will be starting on mediums, Liar Racing on softs, and NRC Arnson will be starting on softs, mediums as well. So into the top 10 we have 5 mediums and 5 soft runners. So a very mixed up grid, as these medium runners have also not used as many soft tyres as the soft runners there. But we have sadly lost to Breezy and Hawk. They will join the rest of the grid who have already been eliminated, including Recoil sadly, who did get eliminated due to the fact of him joining late in the game, bugging not allowing him to compete in Q2, as I believe that would have thrown up some tension between all 3 ERN drivers to see which one could knock the other one out in a little game they were probably playing. But yep, sadly we did lose Hawk, who ended up crashing, and Breezy, who just could not set a competitive lap time, as he did invalidate twice on his 2 flyers. So very sad to see him be lost here without actually being able to set a lap, but the other drivers are a lot happier, I believe, now that they have got faster lap times. As in other news, in the real world of F1, it looks to be that the Canadian Grand Prix will be cancelled due to financial reasons, as a lot of countries did lose a lot of money during the epidemic and... epidemic? Pandemic. Epidemic. Pandemic, as street circuits would have been hampered the most, as having to close off streets does also cost a lot of money. So sadly, they have had to or are looking to cancel the Canadian Grand Prix for this year. So that's going to be massive. As we do see, ERN Skiffy is going to be the first driver looking to come out of the pit box. There we go, as we can hear his car lighting up. Same as his teammate there of NRC Arntzen. Both Mercedes cars getting ready to come out of the grid. Out of the grid, yep. Both Mercedes have just come out of the grid, as Arntzen does actually get the jump on Skiffy, even though Skiffy was waiting a bit longer there. So he is probably very happy about that from the pit crew, but we do end up actually seeing Rhythm, I believe, there get out ahead of both of them. So Rhythm's even better position, is going to cause a little queue here now, as a lot of drivers have just come out of the pit. Skiffy, who was the first driver to have his, to have his spotter actually come out of his garage, has ended up being at the back of this little group. And at the front of the group, surprisingly, is Aaron Storm, even though we never saw his spotter come out. As Skiffy has already overtaken someone. Skiffy, this is not a race, you don't have to overtake everyone, we know that. But all drivers there on the soft compound tyres, none smartly wanting to go onto the medium tyres, as that's just going to be a slower compound tyre. But the track, bearing in mind in Q1 it was an intermediate, or it was raining and pulled out the intermediate tyres, it is now dry, sunny. Much like different weathers at different circuits, it can be pouring down over in 1 second and blistering sunshine the second. All drivers are actually out on circuit now. No one is in the pits. Very nice to see every single car out on circuit. As Aaron Storm will be the first car to come across the line to start his lap. Just coming through where so many drivers have ended up crashing their cars. Seems to be a little scrap heap that will probably be falling on the left hand side, as I don't know if that is just Jostling giving himself room. It's Aaron Storm now. Starts his flyer. Tailed there by Rhythm. If Rhythm is quick enough through the first turn and gets much better speed through the first turn than Storm, he might actually be able to get slipstream, as he does not there. Yellow flag in the final corner, that is just Jostling there slowing up yet again. Probably trying to create a gap, so there is no issue. As Storm makes his way merrily through Eau Rouge and Radion, no damage to his car, and no seeming snap of oversteer or understeer. Looks very well planted as he does come through the right, left quick chicane where Sonoda and Mazepin had their coming together in F2, where Mazepin ended up pushing Sonoda wide and receiving a 5-second penalty. Coming through the right hand and now down through the left. It's a little straight here where you can open up the throttle, see what speed your car can pick up, and then straight through a left. This is where Aaron Storm spun it during qualifying. Managed to keep his car very, very planted there. Into a right-hander here, and a quick switch back to a left. His car's looking very well planted here, and now into a right-hander. And as he comes out of this second right-hander, he will be able to just put the power down and just race away from every car behind him. As this is now the fastest part of the or one of the fastest parts of the circuit. Even though it does have turns, these guys still floor it through. As you see, is 198, 200 miles an hour going through those corners, which is unhuman. Those drivers to be going that fast through that as he comes to the bus stop chicane now. Racing towards the line as he goes and puts a 41.8 in as the car behind him of Rhythm. Where can Rhythm put it? Rhythm puts it with a 43.0. Skiffy then with a 43.2, or a 42. A 42.3, there we go. To middle bit as Arntzen then also puts in a 43.1. Behind him then you have Jostling. Where can Jostling put it? Jostling goes P2 with a 42.2. So these drivers aren't able to punch the 141s yet, like Aaron Storm. Jaffa there with a 42.0. So Aaron Storm, the quickest man on the circuit still. As there is a yellow flag there, that is Liar Racing running extremely wide after an invalidation. Jorkland, who will be the next car to cross the grid, has also got an invalidation, meaning Cool Ice Cube will be the next car to cross said line. Cool Ice Cube can put a P7 with a 43.4. Gergo will be the next car to cross the line. We'll end up seeing where Gergo can end up putting it. Gergo ends up putting it fastest of all there with a 141.6, so he is the second driver to punch her into the 141s. As he goes 2 tenths quicker than Aaron Storm there, as Liar Racing does come into the pit. Every driver now will be on their cooldown laps, I believe, apart from Jorkland, who will be on a flyer. As Jorkland hasn't set a competitive lap time yet, as he did invalidate his last lap time. No, I believe Liar Racing, because of how long of a pit is, I believe had already actually set his, just switched tyres and was coming out then, but he actually hadn't. As all these drivers just driving around, trying to get into the pits. Apart from Jorkland, like I've said before, as yep, every driver is now coming into the pit lane. This is mainly because they're going to strap a new pair of softs on and see how well these new softs can race them. But at the minute we have Gergo P1, Storm P2, Jaff P3, Jocelyn P4, Skeefy P5, Rhythm P6, Arnson P7, Cool Ice Cube P8, Jorkland P9 and Liar Racing P10. Jorkland and Liar have not set competitive lap times yet, as Jaffa is bringing out the yellow flags because he is too slow. Jorkland now will be the... was open to complete a lap but has actually invalidated his lap in the Haas yet again. As we then see Gergo getting let through by the Renault of Cool Ice Cube there. As yep, all drivers now apart from Liar Racing have I don't know what my voice to them. Have now come into the pits there as Liar Racing is the only car out of the circuit. Has the whole track to himself to drive however he wants to. Just don't hit a wall and rip your front wheel off. We don't want to see another DNF. We have one quali session where someone doesn't end up crashing. As I've just realised something, we did actually lose Breezy earlier on. I don't know when we lost Breezy, if that was a retirement, a crash or whatever, but I hadn't actually seen Breezy crash. Just seeing the other Haas made me remember that Breezy isn't in this session, whereas I believe last week Breezy was in Q3. Anyone in the chat remember seeing him crash, or was it just me that has imagined he's crashed somewhere? Liar Racing now coming on to the fastest part of the race course through sector 3. Not the fastest, one of the fastest parts of the race course. Ease is a little off the power, still isn't full on the power as he does back out, as this is actually his. I am stupid sometimes. Liar Racing then up through Eau Rouge and Radion, keeps the car planted, does not hit a wall either side of him. Very well done from him then as he drives past all of the fans, who in real life would be probably screaming Max Verstappen's name, as we all know how crazy the fans can be at Spa for Verstappen. As now coming down this little hill into the long right-hander, hoping not to run wide here. Get the car slowed down enough, not full on the throttle. Does not hit the apex of that corner, but hits the apex of the second and third. Or the second and third apexes there as he comes now into the double left-hander. Takes the first part of it well, the second part very well as well, hoping not to invalidate on the outside. does not as he comes into the right-left chicane here. Brilliantly taken through the right-left chicane as he's now coming into the double left-hander another double left-hander. Yet another double left-hander as he now can open the throttle and just speed down this straight as fast as he can, hoping to get the best he can out of the car. So all drivers now, apart from Cool Ice Cube, are out on the set. Oh no, Jaffa's coming out of his box there. Liar Racing, as there is yellow flag, sector 1 and 2, that is just someone slowing down. Liar Racing, where can he put it on his first T35, puts his car P9. He's looking to actually do 2 laps in a row there, as Jorkland will also be. As Cool Ice Cube. Cool Ice Cube has retired from the session as he comes out of the pits. Very weird there that he has retired from the session as he's come out of the pits. As we will actually hop on board the Aaron Storm to see what happened. I don't know if that is an actual crash there, but I do actually see Liar Racing, I believe, has slowed down on top. Okay. This could actually pose major problems here for the Aaron Storm, as the car may not be off the side of the road yet, as it has. He's just parked himself up, so that is, as he has teleported back into the pits now. I am of the confusion. The Aaron Storm will be the next of the drivers to actually set a flying lap, as this will be their final runs, as you can only really do 2 runs around here. Hoping not to invalidate as he goes through there beautifully on the soft compound tyres. These tyres will be probably giving him as much grip as they can as he takes the apex nicely there. Turns the car in beautifully. We'll be able to see what sort of a lap time he's doing when he comes to the end of this sector. Through the left-hander, hoping not to spin the car like he did in Q2 there. He was probably beating himself up over spinning the car there. Comes through the right-hander, a little bit on the grass, a little bit off of it. As he does lose the rear end, snaps and has crashed, meaning he will not be able to improve his car as he does actually do a full 360 pirouette. There, right in front of Jorkland, hopefully not putting Jorkland off too much as Jorkland runs wide. Manages to keep the car on the racing line there. The Aaron Storm there has picked up wing damage as well, as he will not be able to improve his time, so he's going to have to sit with a 1:41.899. That will be the lap time he has to finish on now. He is probably a bit annoyed with himself. Jorkland coming through the final chicane has invalidated it. He took way too much out the first of the bus stop chicane. He's probably kicking himself about that. Liar Racing comes into the pits. So Jorkland will start last with Liar Racing just ahead of him, and not last, P10. I'm sorry, Jorkland. I meant to say P10, but I said last because it appears you're last on the scoreboard at the minute. You'll be starting P10 there with Liar Racing ahead of you, then Cool Ice Cube. Gergo cannot improve his lap time. Gergo stays there as Skeefy then puts his car into P2 ahead of his little rival there of Jaffa, but Jaffa still is on a lap. We'll see where AMS Rhythm can put his pink racing points. It's going to be pink Mercedes then. Rhythm there improves by 7/10, but it's not enough to actually overtake anyone on the scoreboard. He has to settle for P6 at the minute, but Arnson behind him is still on a lap as Arnson goes all squarely out the final corner. Races towards the line. Arnson improves by 7/10, but that's still not enough to put him ahead of Rhythm. So it'll then be Arnson in 7th, Rhythm in 6th. Will Jocelyn be able to detach anyone at the front? Jocelyn goes into P2 there with a 41.7. Gergo still pole as Jaffa here. 4/10 up currently on his time. Is that enough? As we don't actually see where he ends up putting his car. Where does Jaffa end up putting it? Jaffa ends up putting it pole. Brilliantly done there from Jaffa. Last car across the line ends up putting it on pole. I believe Jaffa is starting on the softer compound tyres though, as here is confirmation. We will have Jaffa on pole, Gergo P2, Jocelyn P3, Skeefy P4, Aaron Skeefy P4, Aaron Storm P5, AMS Rhythm P6, NRC Arnson P7, Cool Ice Cube P8, SRN Liar Racing P9, and SRN Jorkland P10. It's a brilliant qualifying from everyone, as that is going to fully show the top 10. No one actually crashed, only 3 people invalidated lap times in that qualifying session. Very well done from them. Aaron Storm also showing us off how to Tokyo drift around this circuit on multiple occasions now. As Jaffa is saying, that was a very close qualifying. Yes, it was. Jaffa saying he has to keep his pole streak up here. So who can take that away? Next week, I believe we are at Japan. It's very overcast. So I don't actually know if it is a full dry race, as this looks like it could rain at any moment. So we are now just waiting. I don't know if the lobby is bugged. So we are all just sat here. We are all just waiting. No one has ready up. I'd love it if in the next F1 game that it could be you have to anticipate the weather. You have to predict it yourself, and you get given like a little map to predict it. That'd be amazing. You see those people predicting rain like 2 hours when it actually is there in like 2 minutes. Yes, it looks very overcast, but it does not seem to be any sign of rain. So we are, oh there we go, session starts in 30 seconds as Gergo has readied up, and then followed by Jocelyn. So the drivers are now readying up, and they are going to start their formation lap. The very slow and painful formation lap for me, but these drivers will need to try and get as much heat into their tyres as they can, as heat up Eau Rouge in your tyres is massively needed around Spa. So if you can't keep your tyres hot on your formation lap, you will you will spin and spear someone in Eau Rouge. And Radion, as it's very hard to keep your foot planted on burnt up or freezing cold tyres. Sierra and Recoil there is actually starting in last place. He is going to be annoyed with himself starting P20. He would be hoping that he did qualify far enough up to put his car into Q2, but never did, as it looks to be a soft medium preferred strategy around here. So drivers will probably be trying to do a medium soft, as Jaffa there on the mediums, and then Gergo is surrounded by medium runners as Gergo on softs, Jocelyn mediums, Skeefy mediums, Storm mediums, Rhythm softs, Anson mediums, Liar Racing soft, Jorkling mediums, Hawk, Breezy, Cool Ice Cube on softs, Deviant, Kustov, Nigelator mediums, Lunderland on the softs, X-Pilot being the only driver opting for the harder compound tyres, Lewis in behind that on the softs, then it's Kingberger P19 and Rico P20 starting on the mediums and softs respectively. So you see these drivers swerving left and right to try and keep their tyres as warm as they can. As Jaffa, like usual, is just making it even more painful for me. Left, right, as Welsh Deviant has joined the session. I don't know Welsh Deviant had left the session. So you're hoping they hop into that Red Bull seat before long, as Kingberger there going massively wide on the right hand side. I have no idea why he's trying that. Rico there at the back of the grid. Amazing, Rico has got the gearbox issue. Lovely. You can see that Gergo is trying to create a little gap back here. As there's actually another predictive strategy. You can do the soft hard or soft medium. So we've been given multiple different strategies here to choose from. As Gergo, slowly you hear him revving his engine up as they're going to get to the grid now. All have been taken over by AI, I believe. Now, as Jorkland's gone for some... Jorkland, now is not the time to go flower picking. You're about to start a race. We don't need you picking up flowers for people. But Rico will be the final car to filter onto the grid here. And then it will be 5 red lights and away we go. Or 5 red lights, they disappear. And then they go 20 seconds later as the game loves to bug us. Recoil now gets into position as all cars now are on the grid. A lot of them teleport forward into the correct positions. As the game's not going to give me... There we... No. Game you're not on. There we go. 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. They're going to disappear. As it is actually correctly on time here, as Lewis has apparently gone fastest of all. He is not, I can assure you that, as Jaffa goes into turn 1 ahead. As you see behind the Ferrari there, I believe, of Gergo has actually had a collision there with the Mercedes there of Skeefy, who I believe has been spun around as well. I don't know if there's any wing damage there for the Mercedes. Ex-pilot, no, Gergo has dropped down massive positions as well as Christoph has left the session. I believe no one's crashed up Eau Rouge, which is very good. So coming down the camera straight, a lot of cars are going to be wanting to overtake each other, as we do see Jocelyn getting past. As, oh gee god, timing is just everywhere. If that's what I see it is, Yaron Recoil from P20 on the grid has made up 10 positions in Sector 1. That is massive for him. As I believe some drivers are still ghosted here, as Lunderland goes very wide there as he's actually picked up someone's front wing there. That is Nigel at his front wing. He has ended up picking up, as Aaron Skeefy is hoping that he can catch up to this group here and overtake this Recoil now up into P9. That's been a massive start for him. Jaffa now has put out a 1.2 second lead over Aaron Storm here. So there is a yellow flag further back as there's cars just ghosting through each other. This is just chaos. I believe that was Lunderland who had a little spin. Skeefy making his way past. Skeefy's going to be absolutely livid with that start. Skeefy now off the circuit, going for the move around the outside of Nigelator. Nigelator does have wing damage, so he has easily made that mistake. But Storm will be hunting down Jaffa as quick as he can, as I believe Recoil will also be doing that. Oh, not Recoil. Rhythm will also be doing that. My English is not good. I'll show you that now. Because it says now Breezy's P2. Huh? Storm's P1. What? What's going on here? I don't know, as Lunderland has actually come into the pits off lap 1. I don't know if that was a full wing change or what it is, as I do actually see the man with the front wing is out in the box. Yeah, he's missing them pits, which is going to wing change. Hopefully not crash. But making that wing change to hopefully not crash up Eau Rouge. Timing board's going hectic, guys. I'm sorry about this. Apparently Jocelyn's P1 now. Nope, Gergo's P1. Nope. I can't tell who's where now. Apparently Nigel is P2. Nigel is now leading the race. Thank you, EA and Codemasters. Lovely from you guys. As there we go, Jaffa is leading the race with Stormers. Gergo is apparently not ahead or behind Jocelyn ahead of him. But we do see Rico here, hopefully making a move on the car ahead of him. Little pockets are starting to appear as we see Hawk going side by side there with Breezy. Hawk being able to make his way around the inside. As Breezy gets a bit squirrely on the exit there, but can keep the car planted. Jaffa now the 1.7 second lead. He's already dropped the DRS away from Aaron Storm, and both are on the same strategy. Predicted pit stop strategy. Thank you, AWS. Another predicted pit stop strategy. Love them from you. As we do actually see Recoil trying to go around the outside here of Christoph. I don't know if that's... That might not be ghosted Christoph for everyone else, it might just be for me, as we actually do see Jocelyn dive down the inside. He's got to leave Rico space here as he almost closes the door on Rico, but Rico gets much better traction at the final corner. But we see that Jocelyn will actually get DRS going up through Eau Rouge. There is yellow flag with Fanatec. That is London, who I believe has had another little spin. There's yellow flag on the pit straight, as well as Welsh Deviant has had a spin there. I don't know if that was contact with anyone else, but as they come up, Eau Rouge, Breezy is on the back of Hawk and Rhythm. Rhythm is going to lose 2 positions here, I believe, at once, as having no DRS is a massive pain going through the Camel straight. But as you see behind Breezy and Rhythm, there we're going side by side. Very well done from them to not hit each other. Jocelyn did end up getting past Rico there, as well as I do think I just saw wing damage there fly off of the racing point. I don't know what caused that, or if there is even wing damage for the racing point. No, there is not, so I don't know what pink thing I saw fly off that car then. These cars, 22 laps to go as Hawk's retired from the session. Don't know what happened there. I just saw his car go flying into the wall on the outside, but has gifted positions for everyone behind him as there's a full course safety car now. So everyone's going to slam up their brakes. A lot of these drivers may be looking at going for the harder compound tyres now. But that is a shame to see Hawk crash out there. He was having a good race so far. But something's gone wrong and he is just speared off into a wall. As we'll see if any drivers want to come into the pits here and chuck on the harder compound tyres, as Rhythm has come in. Breezy has crashed on the pit entrance. Congratulations, Breezy. NRC Arnson has also come into the pit. Now that is going to be moving up and down the pit lane. As different drivers are coming into the pits, different drivers are not. As King Burger, 5-second penalty for a collision with Cool Ice Cube there. And that is going into the pits. Cool Ice Cube there. I don't know what the hell was happening there between those two Renaults. That is massively going to hamper Cool Ice Cube there. Oh no, is it King Burger who is? Yeah, it's going to massively hamper King Burger there. As he does not want to be held back, but yeah, a lot of these drivers are now switching onto the harder compound tyres. As this could actually be massive, weirdly, for the likes of X-Pilot. Even though he's not going to have to do another pit stop, he is in theory on tyres that could last him to the end of the race. Yes, he'll have to do one more stop. If there is a late safety car on drivers with very worn tyres, he may have to. So I'm not going to pull up. Oh, that's penalties. King Bagger and Cool Ice Cube both got them. Kustov has now finally rejoined. Thankfully, he has rejoined. That is good. No. Oh, Jesus. My voice. Positions, there we go. Recoil is up 15 positions in 4 laps. He must be loving life right now. Storm up 3 positions. Jorkland up 6. Jocelyn's dropped 1. Jaffa has stayed in the same position in the lead of the race. Kustov is up 8. Lewis up 11. And X-Pilot up 9. And a lot of those positions that they've actually gained are because other drivers have come in for their pit stops. And due to the fact of the DNF there from Hawk. As Hawk now has left the session. As yes, BTXF1 said hards, as a lot of drivers yes have pitted in. 2 drivers have pitted in for the hards. Okay, I thought a lot more would, as I think the hards can make it to the end of the session. But as we see, we've got Rhythm who's pitted in for mediums. Arnson's pitted in for softs. Gergo's pitted in for mediums. Cool Ice Cube for mediums. Breezy's pitted in for hards. So in my opinion, Breezy's done the smart move. Liar Racing mediums, King Burger, another smart move there for the hards. Nigelator softs, Lunderland hasn't pitted, and Deviant has pitted for the soft compound tyres. As they are now all following the safety car through onto the straight, swerving left, swerving right, trying to heat these tyres up as best they can. As we are finally going to get some intervals for these drivers, even though it's a safety car. They will have to drive one more lap as Breezy is coming to the pits. Off of his mediums, no clue what, off those hards. No clue why unless there's wing damage there. Or the hards may just not be not good enough compound tyre. Unless he's paying for the mediums. He may just believe that the hards aren't a nice race tyre to drive them. As Jaffa is getting a tad annoyed at the front of the grid. seemingly not liking the fact that there's another safety car when he's leading a race. Every time that Jaffa leads a race, there is always a safety car through just stupidity, and he does not like it. Or what he says it is stupidity. As he says, the safety car hates him. Pretty sure they do, to the amount of times you've tried to hit the safety car through it not driving fast enough. Maybe we can see if you hit the safety car this week, see how far your car ends up flying from hitting it. But a lot of these drivers, there is a massive lock up there for Jorkland. But I believe that the safety car will be in this lap now. So, Jaffa. Oh, Jesus, I can't stop yawning. No need to worry there, Jaffa. No need to worry. As it is still, the car's just driving around the circuit ever so slowly. I say ever so slowly, it's still like 110 miles an hour these drivers are driving at some points. Safety car is in this lap, so now Jaffa will be the lead car. And he is going to overtake pace control of this field of 19 cars left, as we have sadly lost ROS Hawk to a DNF on a front wheel. Just fell off the car, it seemed like, as he hit the wall. Don't know what caused it. Maybe a clip sailed into the stewards for that incident. I think he was battling someone at the time. Jaffa left, right, heating his tyres up as best he can. As he now goes, Lunderland 5-second time penalty, severe collision with Nigelator. As I don't know if that has caused wing damage there for the McLaren of Lunderland. Yes it has, it's removed one of his end plates, that's massive for him. As Jaffa have missed Jaffa's start. Sorry for that stream, as London does come into the pits, but he has started, put a 1.3 second gap to Storm, who in turn has pulled 1.4 seconds behind him, Rhythm then getting past Ed. NRC Arntz there, as Arntz will look to make a move on. They're not going to go side, okay. I was going to say, they're going to go side by side through a rouge, they better both trust each other. As I have done that before, and multiple times I've got flying into a wall. Arntz there, with the overspeed, has managed to make his move stick there. As Breezy overtakes Nigel there as well down the straight. These cars are all just... I can't stop yawning, and I'm so sorry to everyone who hears it. I don't know why. I just yawn whenever I stream, or whenever I do comms. Never any other time. But as Jaffa put up 2 seconds here to Storm, so it's going to hamper him. Storm probably wanting to get that time back up, as there are some small gaps as you look further up the field, as Skeefy is all over the back of NRC X-Pilot here, hoping that he can make a move. There is the yellow flag further back at the field. That is, I believe, Full Ice Cube, who has had an incident, maybe a little drift there. But he has stayed racing as cars going up down, as X-Pilot does get past Lewis there. I believe Lewis is AI. Okay. There's nothing really to scream home about, but NRC X-Pilot actually does make another move past Kustov there. It's a brilliant drive from his. Kustov does get the switchbacks. Kustov now versus X-Pilot as a drag race down into turn 1. X-Pilot is the inside line, as he does push Kustov a bit wider there. Is Kustov going to try back, or is Arntzen going to attempt to move here? As all of these cars in a small little train going to race each other up Rouge and Radion and see if they can make anything. They go through flat out. X-Pilot picks up a time penalty, but Arntzen has got overspeed here on the 2 cars ahead of him. Oh no, it's Skeefy, not Arntzen. I am so sorry about that. Arntzen sat at the back of this group. Skeefy, that one overtake done, could not get the extra speed there to make a second one. As Go gets past Lewis. Lewis has just dropped 2 places in the straight. 3. I think Lewis may have had a little incident there on the edge of that. He's an AI steam. As these cars are all racing around, trying just to get positions as they can. Arnson all over the back of Skeefy right now. Was looking for a move into that right-hander, but decided to back out of it as he switched back right-left, so he may have just opened himself up to be switched back on. Coming through the right-hander now, and he's dropped massive amounts of time off the back of his teammate there, Skeefy. Skeefy, I believe, was last week's winner as well. So Skeefy will be hoping to continue that luck. As Jorklin picks up 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Breezy right up to the back of Liar Racing there. Liar Racing has dropped back again as DRS has finally been enabled for these drivers. Or has finally been re-enabled for these drivers as there you go. Rhythm has ended up hitting the back of Kustov there. I don't know if that was through just overspeed or what it was through. As the one-stop strategy to pit off of the softs has opened up, so that maybe Recoil, who maybe Luke's the only driver still on the softer compound tyres who's done it. I know Lewis there has also used the softs for 7 laps. But is Lewis's AI. Skeefy here, he's now making the decision in his head. Does he want to pit off the softs now or not? As Nigelator has picked up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings there as well. As Jaffa is still ahead of everyone else. X-Pilot has just dropped 2 positions to both Mercedes there. Both Mercedes racing through. Skeefy followed by NRC Arnson as X-Pilot is letting more drivers through. I don't know what's happening here. X-Pilot's just letting people through. I don't know what that is about, but he's just letting drivers through turn by turn, it seemed like that. Easing off the power. As we do actually see AMS Jocelyn versus Jorkland here. All Jorkland defends very well there to keep the racing point behind him as X-Pilot loses another position but gains it back at the same time. But Breezy has ended up getting past as well. Is something up with X-Pilot? He may have just been hit out of rhythm as Kustov there is very wide, giving up positions as there you also see the Williams of Liar Racing getting past and Kingberger as well. So a lot of drivers are just dropping back to field. Maybe because their tyres are starting to overheat as we see Rico go for a massive, massive dive. Does also get a little tag there on the back of Jorkland. A massive dive that almost worked there for him. As apparently the one-stop strategy now for the medium compound tyres is also available. Skeefy going, no, not Skeefy, Rico going down the inside there. There's a yellow flag further back on the track. There's London as Deviant has ended up retiring as well. I don't know where Deviant has ended up crashing on the final few corners as there is a virtual safety car there off of his crash, or maybe even London. London has got damage to his front wing as well as both McLarens are having a abysmal race so far. Hopefully they can pick it up in the second half of this race. We do see Breezy hoping to catch up to the backers. There you go. It has been. My English today is just not working with me. As drivers are just all the way throughout the field, we see Jorkland's dropped 3 seconds off the back of Jostin there. I don't know if that was a mistake under the VSC or what it was, as they were very close before the VSC, I believe. But as you see, Mercedes are now both pulling their way back to the field, hoping to get as big of a points margin as they can here. Yellow flag again as Liar Racing has ended up retiring. I don't know where the Liar has retired. I do say so. Actually, it's... where the hell is Liar retired? Lyra's ended up retiring, and that hasn't brought the safety car yet, which is good. It's just yellow flag in the sector, so I was just having to double check then. As oh, backwards, okay. So Lyra may have actually had it coming together a different driver there, so we have lost 3 drivers now. There's 3-second time penalty there for Kingberg. Again, another time penalty for him. As Jaffa is the lead car. Still the 2-second gap over the Owen Storm, who's sat a bit further back. as these drivers are all racing as best they can, as we do see EXR Lewis, who... Is he actually driving now? I believe he is actually driving now, as he has had the medium compound tyre put on his car. He's the first driver to make that first pit stop, as Lyre Racing has left the session. That is probably due to the crash that Lyre Racing was involved in. As we see a massive, massive lock-up there for Jaffa. If that was real life, he would have squared off that tyre, or that front right tyre, as that was massive. We do have this big train here that is formed off the back of Jorkland. Involved in it is Jorkland, Recoil, Skeefy, Arnson, Gergo, Breezy, Rhythm. So that is from P4 to P10 are all involved in this little DRS train that has emerged. But up further ahead we have Jorkland, Yosin, Storm and Jaffa, who don't have DRS off at anyone. If this DRS train doesn't actually fight itself and helps it, and uses that DRS as an advantage, they may actually be able to pull up to the drivers up ahead, but they're probably going to fight each other because there's points playing positions here. The further you get forward in that group, the more points you're going to get. The further you drop back, less until you're out of the group. As we did actually just see Nigelator. I don't know what is up with me yawning. Nigelator has had a massive spin there. No wing damage luckily for him, but that is going to drop him down even more positions to bring out another yellow flag there. We do see Jaffa here starting lap 11 halfway through the Grand Prix here. Still on those medium compound tyres. We do actually see Recoil, who's now finally pitting off of those soft compound tyres, comes into the AlphaTauri pit box hoping for a quick stop here. Not as quick as the Red Bull crew in real life, but it's a very good stop from him. That is going to drop him down into clean air. He will hopefully be on those mediums, and he's hopefully just going to push as fast as he can to try and make this massive undercut work on the leading runners. I believe next driver to pit will be NRC Arnson off of his soft compound tyres, which are probably dying as well on him. But he is still inside this group, and he is doing well for himself inside this group. Still racing very well for him. As we do still see that Jocelyn now is actually catching up to the back of Aaron Storm. I know Storm was doing some more Tokyo drifting through this circuit, so we all know how much he loves to drift around each of these corners. Jaffa now has put out 2.8 seconds to Storm. Jaffa is going to try and put out as much as he can before that pit stop starts. We still have this group all behind Jorkland. Jorkland little ERS compared to most of the group there. But Jorkland will be hoping he can pull out of ERS one day from this group. As we get a beautiful, if my game would like that, there we go. Helicopter cam following these drivers through, as that's a massive dive there from NRC Arts to try and stay ahead. Locks up on the brakes as well. Luckily he did not cause any damage for any of the drivers. Arnson now didn't open up his DRS right until the last minute there. As they go into a sweeping right hander of turn 1. And they now come up the hill. Still at full speed. I still don't know how these drivers do it in real life, going up here full speed. One mistake and you're off, but Arnson has now lost DRS, as we do actually see Skeefy now up into 4th position, overtaking Jorkland there. Arnson now open for attacks. Arnson does not get overtaken there though. As we see Gergo make a little mistake there, goes a bit too deep into the corner, and he's going to lose some time out there as well. Yosten though as well is caught right up to the back of Storm here, and is now inside of the DRS. Breezy there getting past Gergo, pushing Gergo a bit wide there, but still fair. Still both cars on the racing line, or on the track. And in my books, if it's grey, it's okay. You push them onto the grey a bit, it's fine. But if you push them onto the grass and stuff, maybe let the position back through, unless you've caused a crash. As we look further down, we do actually see Rico there. He's on those new mediums, and he's going to try and push as much as he can to try and catch up to the drivers ahead of him. As a lot of these drivers have pitted. King Burger there. Remember, he did pit onto the hard compound tyres. Even though they may be not as favourable as the mediums, he is still sat there in P11. Drivers in front of him do have to pit still. But look at that, Jocelyn all over the back of Ear and Storm here. a while before these drivers pit. I think maybe another 4 or 5 laps, as there is the yellow flag in sector 3, as that is Gergo, who has had a spin. Don't know if that was an incident with Breezy, who we know he was battling. I don't know if there was wing damage either there. Because no, he still has his full front wing. I believe he's just ended up drifting into the wall there. No wing damage, as he does actually come into the pits. He'll probably be pitting onto the softer compound tyres, maybe even the medium, maybe even the hard tier. As he did start the race on the hard tier. So that's a beautiful angle to get the hill of Rouge. And now come down the straight. As we actually get the view backwards, as remember, Jocelyn does actually have DRS, but Ian Storm uses his DRS perfectly there. Turns in, and there was no collision there, Matt. Brilliantly done there. As remember, Gergo was actually quite a bit behind. I don't know, quite a bit ahead of Recoil, I believe. Was he ahead of Recoil? I don't know, but look at that Recoil now. 15 seconds, maybe even 16 up ahead, as there is a yellow flag there. That is Jorkland, who has had a spin and damage there as well. That's not going to be handy as he is on the medium compound tyres, meaning his pit stop is open now. Luckily for him, but that wing damage is massively going to hamper him as he has to let NRC X pilot through. So there's a yellow flag sector 3, that is Lunderland, who has retired Jaffe, the first driver onto the scene of that, and I don't know if that will bring out the safety car. As the car is in the racing line, that is a big incident, as yep, VSC is out. As there is a car on the racing line that they are going to have to remove from the circuit. It's very unlucky to believe he has clipped the ball that just sticks out there. So a lot of these drivers, I've done that multiple times in lobbies before, where I've clipped that outside wall. As you see, it's on the left hand side here, 4X pilot, that wall right there. He is clipped, removing his front wheel, as we do actually see Jaffa come into the pits, followed by Ian Storm and Jocelyn. Is Skeefy going to dive into the pits as well here? Skeefy does dive into the pits. And that's going to hamper Anson, as Anson also is going to pit. But Breezy's staying out, as he has already pitted. As well, Steven has the session, and Kustov receives a drive-through penalty. Anson tried to give himself as much gap, but he's still going to get held in the pits, which is going to hamper him big time from this fight back. But as we do see, Storm is still behind Jaffa there. But now look at this, Breezy out in the lead of the race, as Lindemann has ended up leaving the session. That's unlucky for Lindemann there. But they are now all racing yet again. There's 3 drivers outside of the pits. That is Jorkland, Jorkland, and RC Arndt. And Rhythm there, I don't know what happened to Rhythm. Rhythm's lost part of his front wing. I believe that he's going through turn 1. He has damaged his front wing, which is very sad, as he has just come out of the pits as well, and he has got wing damage. Tries not to lose it up over Rouge, which is very well done. Ian Storm's going to be very annoyed with himself that he has ended up dropping back position there. As Kustov has just driven into the wall coming out of the pits and given himself wing damage. Unlucky there, Kustov. I don't know what has happened there. It may have just not had wheel connection or something. But Breezy's leading the race so far at the minute. As we see how much the I was confused when we got sent to the AlphaTauri pit crew then, but it's him coming out of the pits. Breezy now leads the race on 8 lap-old mediums, as he will have Jaffa chasing him down. Chasing down Jaffa is Storm. And Jocelyn is the only car at the minute inside DRS, as there is a yellow flag through sector 3. That is the McLaren there of Kustov having a dismal race so far. But we do actually also have Skeefy, who has just got past Kingberger there. Skeefy on the new softer compound tyres compared to Jaffa on the hards. Kingberger 3-second time penalty there as well received. I don't know what that is for. This race I don't think will be determined on penalties, but there is a lot of penalties for the drivers down. As we see Kustov start doing pirouettes on the side of the circuit, that is probably due to his wing damage. Uncertain the front balance of the car. But Jaffa now still hunting down the car ahead of him. So there is the yellow flag in sector 2. Yet again, that is Kustov causing the yellow flag through spinning. So luckily he's ghosted, as he didn't actually hit Nigelator there. Kustov just probably very frustrated himself at the minute. Causing himself wing damage coming out of the pits, have everywhere to get wing damage. Frustrating for him there. We do have Jaffa now closing up to the back of Breezy ever so slightly, hoping that he can make his way past him. So slowly trying not to lose the rear end there as well, as he is going to come onto the, I'm going to call it, it's not even a back straight, it's just this massive length. As Breezy has ended up causing loads of dust to be kicked up there through running onto the grass. Drops in behind Jaffa, but is going to have more speed. Clips the rear wheel of Jaffa there, who does move across, but not enough to warrant a penalty there. Jaffa then also almost cuts up Breezy, as there is wing damage there as well for both drivers. Breezy is apologising, as he did say he is sorry for something. I don't know what he is sorry about. I don't know if that was damage to another driver or what that was actually about. As the drivers are still racing through, Kustov has ended up leaving the session. As Cool Ice Cube comes into the pits, has to serve his 5-second time penalty with that snazzy helmet. Very nice looking helmet there from Cool Ice Cube. But these drivers still racing. Doing a brilliant job, all 15 of them that are left in the session. Sadly, we've lost both McLarens of Kustov and Lunderland, the Williams of Lyre Racing, Red Bull of Deviant, and the Alfa Romeo of Hawk DNFing on lap 2 through hitting a wall. It was the first DNF. Jaffa now pull out 1.5 seconds to Breezy. I think Jaffa has started to run away with this win, as I don't really see Aaron Storm catching him, as they're on the same lap of mediums and softs, unless there is an incident which causes a safety car, or maybe even Jaffa has an incident up ahead. But one thing that I want to bring everyone's attention to is recoil here. Started P20, was up 11 positions in lap 1, 10 positions in sector 1 itself. A brilliant drive from him, putting himself up into 8th position, ahead of drivers who did start inside the top 10. It's massive for him. Skeefy here in P5 as well, brilliant drive from him. We have Jocelyn P4, brilliant drive. Breezy as well, being knocked out in Q2, now up into P2, a brilliant drive from him as well. But these drivers all just trying to make it to the end, getting in points for positions. We do actually see X-Pilot pit onto the soft compound tyres. Don't know what that is about. That is going to boost the other drivers up more positions ahead of him. But it looks like Jaffa will, at this moment in time, if no driver behind of either Breezy, Storm or Jocelyn can catch up, it looks like we have to give Jaffa back his race-winning crown, as he will win another race here. These drivers all still throwing everything at it, as Jorkland is probably going to drive through Lewis up at Rouge here. Through he goes, as that is probably confused the AI, as Rhythm there retires in the pit lane. I don't know what that's about, probably just frustrated with his race not going the way he hoped it to be. But these drivers still all just trudging their way through the circuit, a long Spa circuit. I believe it is the longest on the calendar. There's one thing that I find frustrating with this circuit is if you have an incident anywhere on the circuit, like say in qualifying you invalidate lap 1, it gets so, like corner 1, it gets so annoying to try and make your car, or get your car the whole way around. As we see here, Jaffa still leading the race, as actually Jorkling gets past EXR Lewis there. That is because EXR Lewis is in AI mode still. But these drivers still all just driving well. No one in each other's DRS, which is love. Actually, no, Lewis is inside of Jorkling's DRS, but Lewis is in AI. So he's going to get dropped very quickly. Or very quickly. Sorry about that language. Jaffa's still leading it, followed by Breezy and Storm just behind him. Storm just trying to get back into the P2. He was nudged a bit of another 3-second time penalty there through, probably exceeding track limits there, as we all know how easy it is to extend track limits around this circuit. Storm just trying to keep his car in a straight line there, almost lost it. Had to catch it mid-corner, but still keeps it in a straight line, has lost some time from trying to catch the car there. But Breezy is still leading the race. Breezy there is... Breezy still in P2 on those 12 lap old mediums. Pitted off of the hards, I believe. But these drivers all still trying to drive their best race. Recoil has just got inside DRS range now. So finally when they go out to the pit straight, he'll have DRS, even though I hardly ever see moves done on the pit straight. It's mainly on the camel straights where you see all moves done. As he does actually get very squirrely out that corner. That may allow Arnson to actually catch some more time because King Burger picks up another 3-second time penalty. Aaron Storm now has finally caught up into Breezy's DRS zone. And will finally be able to open that rear wing coming down the straight. There you see his rear wing has opened to allow him much more speed as that letterbox. Should have been called a letterbox, not DRS. Even though drag reduction system sounds fancy, letterbox is a better word for it. But now, as you can see off the back of Breezy's car coming up, Eau Rouge and Radion, Aaron Storm is behind him. Storm, you'll probably be able to see from this, even though he's deploying overtake, Storm massively catching time up there. Massive amount of time to go. As you see Recoil so close to the back of King Burger there, as he does make the move at the end of Eau Rouge and Radion, opens up the rear wing and just sails past the Renault. The Alpha Tauri's got major straight line speed, as we do also see Arnson now has got himself almost inside DRS, the cars ahead of him as well, which is very good for him. We'll just be able to see a yellow flag there of Nigelator, I believe, has just had a little spin. Himself down there in P14, brilliantly driven by him to keep on going, even though he's 45 seconds away from the car ahead of him. The determination is massive from him to keep on going. As that is what I like to see, even if drivers aren't having their best races, is the determination to keep on going, which is lovely to see. Drivers around the place. Jocelyn is catching up to the back of this group of Breezy, who leads Storm, and then Jocelyn. This is for the podium positions here. Jocelyn now has a 3-second time penalty. We'll be hoping that he can try and get past this group and extend 3 seconds to keep podium position. Storm right up to the back of Breezy now will have DRS for this start-finish straight. As he opens his DRS, but also behind him as well. Jocelyn does not have DRS just yet, it's so close to the back of him. Arnson will also have DRS on King Burger there. Storm here on 43% compared to the 30% ERS of Breezy. So they race up the hill, keeps the car nicely planted in one of DRS, and this will be Storm sailing past the Haas of Breezy. Storm on the faster compound tyre as well. Storm makes the braking zone much earlier as they do come through. Cleanly no wing damage for each person. Here we'll also see Arnson get DRS on King Burger, moving this Mercedes car up an extra position. Opens up DRS, pulls out the right hand side after the slipstream and just sails past. Nothing you can do to defend against that. The straight line speed you get as an advantage is massive up that straight. We do see now Storm 6.2 seconds. He's got to catch the Jaffa in 2 laps. That's 3 seconds a lap. So unless I see an incident for Jaffa up ahead, I believe he has run away with this win. There's nothing any other driver can do. So a little bit of a lock up there for Breezy. Breezy here fighting for his podium to the best of his ability here, as Jocelyn is trying his best to catch up to Breezy, and he will need to extend that 3 seconds ahead of him. I don't know if he can. Aaron Rico there picks up 3 second time penalty for multiple warnings. Not Storm, as Arnson will now be catching up to the back of Aaron Recoil to try and make a move, as he is now inside DRS for the driver up ahead of him. I don't know if Recoil has wing damage. Doesn't look like it. No, he's just seeming to drop off. Or maybe those softer compound tyres, much fresher on Arnson's car, that are going to help him out massively coming to these final stages of the race. Arntzen coming through turns 1 and is now coming on to turn 2. As they race up the hill now, will have DRS on the car ahead of him as Breezy has had has been overtaken by Jocelyn there. So Jocelyn up into the podium positions. You have Recoil dumping all of his ERS as Arntzen goes around the outside, not using ERS, just using DRS, brakes later, and managed to make the that move stick. Recoil will be looking at every opportunity to try and take that move back. As Jaffa here has caught up sadly to the back of Nigel H, and this will be Nigel H's lap time. There is an incident further back for Breezy there, who I don't know what has happened. Does Breezy has wing damage? So Breezy has been involved in some sort of incident, has picked up wing damage. I don't know what that was, but that has handed a podium position there to Jocelyn on a Skeefy now. He has to catch 1.5 seconds up to get onto the back of him there. As that is a major bummer there for Breezy picking up wing damage this late on in the Grand Prix. He will not want to pit, but he's got to nurse that car best he can back. He's just going to be hoping that the cars of Arntzen and Recoil will not be able to catch up to the back of him now. But Jaffa there, as he has finally got past Nigel later, sadly, races up Eau Rouge for the last time, through Radion for the last time, and now down the Camel Straight. No car in sight, a brilliant drive by him. Skeefy here, 9/10 he's got to catch this lap. If Jocelyn makes one mistake, this can be the difference between a podium position and no podium for him. And be the difference between Skeefy getting P4 or P3, but he's just got to hope. Isn't it up ahead as Skeefy here will, no, Skeefy, Recoil will get DRS onto Arntzen here. As they race down the straight, Arntzen not even chucking ERS, sorry. As he believes he was so far ahead that he didn't even need to and he didn't have to. As Jocelyn picks up another 3-second time penalty. Jocelyn is going to be kicking himself now as he will need to extend that. He will need to pull out 2 seconds to Rico here. And I don't believe he can. I think he has just thrown away this podium chance to picking up another 3-second time penalty. Handing Skeefy another podium. He has even slowed up a lot more through there, as you can probably tell those tyres are burning away on him. King Burger there, bearing in mind he did pit onto those hard compound tyres 17 laps ago. He's doing very nicely there, running in 8th position ahead of Gergo and Ex-Pilot. Gergo being involved in the lap 1 incident, exactly the same as Skeefy there, who has, after being involved in that lap 1 incident, has actually pulled it back as Breezy picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings there. But Jaffa does win the Belgium Grand Prix. Brilliant drive from him there. ERN Storm comes home to finish in P2. Jocelyn comes out to finish P3 on track, but that P3 I believe will be removed. Yes, it will. 1.3 seconds. Sadly, as Skeefy comes across to finish P3. Next car to finish is going to be the Haas of Breezy. Breezy P5. I don't know if he will keep P5. He will as Arntzen finishes P6. Rico P7. King Burger comes home to finish P8 as he gets a 5-second time penalty for an unserved 5-second time penalties. He actually comes home to finish P9 as Gergo does actually overtake him on penalties. Ex-Pilot will come home, I believe, to finish P10. He does finish P10. Jorkland comes home after a good race, but just seemed to be filled with a couple of incidences there. Cool Ice Cube comes home to finish, I believe, actually jumped him. I think Cool Ice Cube actually finished P11 there. Yes, he did. As DSJ has called himself a bot there. DSJ, don't worry about it. There is always next week. You don't need to worry about incidences that happen. And well raced by everyone. Brilliant drives then up and down the grid. Brilliant comeback drives there for Recoil, even though he got kicked out of the session. Or got kicked out of Q2. Manages to pull it back and put his car, I believe, P6 behind Arntzen in P5. I'm not mistaken, but Jaffa comes home to win and extend his lead at the top of the table. Very good drive from him. As was it P4 DSJ that he ended up finishing? We will actually see now what position he ended up finishing in. No, he ended up finishing, yeah, P7. P20 to P7, that's brilliant driven from him. Fast Slap does also go to DSJ with a 44-1. It's a brilliant drive yet again from all these drivers. Rico on his debut, yeah, P7. Last week's winner of Skeefy can only manage P3, whereas Jaffa there takes the win from Storm. And then it is Yoslin, Breezy, Arnson, Rico, Gergo, Kingberger, NRC X-Pilot rounds out the top 10. Cool Ice Cube, Jorkland, Lewis, Nigelator, Rhythm, Kostov, Blunderland, Liar, Deviant, and Hawk is every single driver. Very well driven from everyone, and thank you for tuning in to NRC Division 2 round 14 of Belgium. That is all. See you next week for next round.